When the doctor gave me a call and he said, "My dear Caroline, I'm sorry, but it's cancer. We need to take action very fast." That changed my life. The moment I signed that paper with 2 possible side effects of the surgery, that changed everything. I had to undergo through menopause at the age of 27. I had to be very cautious about my weight because it would not be the same normal weight management journey. I had to lose my entire reproductive system, meaning I would never be the mother of 7 as I had desired to be. My name is Carol, and this is my defining story. I'm a middle child, an only girl, a sandwich between 2 big brothers and 2 small brothers. I have learned to love myself. I have learned to appreciate who I am. If I notice someone is bringing me negative energy, I run. Every once a year, I do something very special to appreciate me. I've learned that if you don't appreciate yourself, you might never find someone to appreciate you. 2012, when I was 26, I was turning 27, I said I want to do one very courageous thing. I want to do this thing that I used to hear women talk about when we were in school, and it's called pap smear. But I didn't have the courage. So when we were in campus, I remember my friends used to go to Mater Hospital every October when there are these free screenings, but I never gathered the courage. 2012, I had just gotten my first job. It was a well-paying job. It was good. I had good money. I was living the life. And so that said, my employer had also given me a medical cover, and we had been told as we were breaking for the holiday that it will lapse in December, and when we come back the following year, we will be getting a new medical cover. So I decided to do 2 things. Well, I think I'd never even decided. I didn't decide. I went to the salon, and the salonist took longer. I was like, I'm wasting time. I called my friend and I told her, Rose, I'm thinking of doing this monster thing called pap smear. Please, because you did. Let's be on phone. You give me the courage to do it. And so I left, went to the nearest hospital, told them, this is my cover. I want you to test me from head to toe. Test anything. So when I was going, I did not have any disease. I did not have any disease in mind. In my family, they have diabetes, hypertension. Maybe I thought, that is the closest that I could think of. Around that time, I had read magazines of people who've had cancer, and I'm like, oh, man, cancer is for old people. Cancer is for not me. I remember I had even prayed to God all my life, please God, let me never have cancer. Why? Because I thought, just the way we are ignorant, I just thought cancer is equal to losing your hair is equal to death. That is the picture I had of cancer. So that is the cancer I was scared of. I was not even scared of anything, something I knew. So I went to the hospital and told the nurses, I'm going to do this pap smear with my friend on phone so that she can give me the encouragement, because I hear it's very and then the nurses were like, no, it's not so bad. And within 1 minute we were done. It's like, why do people make a big fuss about it? Went back to the salon, did my hair. At that time I was dating. So I was waiting for my boyfriend. He never showed up after I made my hair. And that was such a loss. He never showed up. So I went home and life moved on. But I had achieved that thing of, I had given myself that gift. Now, it's a very interesting gift because I never went back to look to check the results. I had done it. My work was to just do it and move on. December was over. January came. I was still fighting with my boyfriend around that time. And so we had said, let's do a date and try and figure out this where this is going. And it was after the office hours. I was going, where we were going for the date is upstairs, and the hospital I had taken my test is downstairs. So when I was walking in, he was late, as it was his custom. So I said, let me just walk in and check my results. Walked in, gave out my name. It was around 7 p.m. Gave out my name. There were three young ladies. And I was like, I need my results. I came here some time back. I did this test. So they looked at me and they kept, something changed. They were moving from this room to another. Then they were talking in whispers. And I'm like, okay. So I waited for like 30 minutes and I was like, so why am I not getting my results? Then one of them came to me and said in her white dust coat, holding my results, it's like, Madam, tunaona ni kama uko na cancer. What did you just say? Hapana, sasa hatuwezi kuambia mengi, daktari tu ndiye anaweza kuambia. I was like, daktari ako wapi? Where is the doctor? Hapana, it was a Friday. And they told me, daktari anakujanga huku tu on Tuesdays. I'm like, what? Umesema ni kama niko na cancer ama niko na cancer? Na ni cancer ya wapi tu? I mean, like, I had done from head to toe. I had done breast cancer, I had done cervical cancer. So what are we talking about here? Kaniambia, hapana, unajua, like, it was not making any sense. I just told her, just give me my results. I picked up the results, put them in an envelope myself, walked out. Went for my date. I didn't tell my date anything. Of course, the relationship didn't work. That's why we are here today. It was just still nasty. Went home, slept, woke up 2 days. That weekend, I never thought about it. Normally when I get sad news, I get numb. I became numb. So I was not thinking, I was not feeling, I was just sleeping. On Monday, I went to the office and I decided, let me check on Google what these terminologies mean, because there are these terminologies, the medical terms which you are not familiar with and you don't know what to do. And the moment I Googled like this, the symptoms I saw literally, it was like I was dead. What was shocking is that before I checked my results, I was not bleeding in any way. But when I convinced my mind that I was sick, I started bleeding. I got my periods. At that time, I'm reading about cervical cancer because I had been diagnosed, I had been told I have precancerous cells, which if they had told me a month before, because I was collecting my results later, if they had seen there was something, they would have called me and told me, come, we do something. So by the time I was picking, it had changed. But from the Google, I was reading these things. It is sexually transmitted, and you're already thinking, what did I do? Where did I get from? Who gave it to me? Where? All these questions. I remember I just picked, when you're given the medical cover, you're given a list of doctors who you can talk to, who can attend to you. So I picked the phone numbers, looked for the nearest gynecologist or anyone who would understand my situation. I called and I said it's an emergency. I called like 5 of them, and I left the office, went to like 5 different hospitals. I'll not tell you what I am from, where I'm from, or what is ailing me, so that you can give me your opinion. By the 5th one, I was bleeding, I was wounded, I was just a mess. Now the shocking thing is that because of how I've grown up thinking and being told I'm strong, I still believed I am strong enough to do this by myself. So I was by myself. When you do the pap smear, you're told to wait for 7 days. Those were the longest 7 days of my life. I kept calling, I think, the 5 hospitals. One of the hospitals, I think it was Nairobi Hospital, I can't remember which one, but they released my tests in 4 days. So I came running to check. And I was told I have to do another test. And they said, by this time it has progressed. It is stage 1. And I'm like, within a month. If only these people called me. If only. By that time you have all these questions, you have all these things going through your mind. And you have no idea who to blame. But mostly for me, I blamed myself. I was thinking maybe it's something I did or something I did not do. 2, it has to do with your reproductive health. It has to do with your cervix. Your cervix is very private. Who do you talk to? Who do you tell? It's sexually transmitted as per what I was reading that time. And I'm like, what? All these questions. Went back to the office. I couldn't even believe. So then I'm told I'll have to do a HPV DNA test. We did HPV DNA test, which again took 3 weeks to get the answers. And I was like, God, I cannot wait for these 3 weeks. When the test results came for HPV DNA tests, normally, previously when the results are coming out, it's the doctor who used to call me. This time, it's the hospital that called me. And I was like, Bas, I'm dead. I'm in Thika. They called me, hi, Caroline, your test results are out. But you need to see your doctor. They didn't tell me come to the hospital. You need to see your doctor immediately. That was the longest journey of my life from Thika to Nairobi. I was just thinking, oh my God, why did the hospital have to call me? So I came to town and I went, again, I was alone. It was on Valentine's Day. Went to the doctor's office. The doctor was a bit elderly. And when I walked in, he was busy writing something. He just looked up briefly, then went on writing and telling me, msichana, hiyo uterus yako ni tu tutatoa, and that's it. Then he told me, you see, I'll book, and he took his diary. I'll just book for you. Just need to deposit 800,000. We do the surgery, and it's like, Daktari, have you confirmed how old I am? Have you checked how old I am? It's like, me, I'm even an only child. He started telling me his story. Oh, I'm an only child. Oh, my mother. Oh, there are so many women without uteruses. That time, you do not understand why do we have to remove the uterus, and you guys are telling me it's the cervix. There was no connection. He talked. At that time, you feeling the tears want to come out, but they are not there. You feeling you have to pinch and confirm if you're still alive. And I told him calmly, Daktari, thank you very much, but God gave me the wisdom to ask for my results, because I don't know why I asked. That was not the first reaction, but I did. I asked for my test results. I told him, kindly give me a copy of my results. I go home, think, decide, then come and we can do the surgery. I'm fine. He gave me a photocopy. I left the office. I still see that place even now when I close my eyes. I left the office, passed the reception, went outside his door and nearly collapsed. I did not know where I was. I did not know anything. My head was this big. And the only thing I did was I picked my phone and I told my brother, please come and look for me. Come pick me up. He asked me, where are you? I told him, I don't know. They had to look for Safaricom to look for where I am. I could not walk, I could not move, I could not feel anything. So I told my brother, come pick me. He came. And when he tried talking to me, I told him I cannot talk. So he didn't know what is wrong with me. He took me home. When I got home, I looked at my daughter and I was like, wow, this is it. This is the end. is just it. Like, she's the one who I looked at and I was like, this is it. I'm done. I'm dying and I'm going to leave her. She was I don't know. And then I think she felt it when I went to my bedroom. She came and my daughter hugs me. We hug a lot. She could come and hug me, but I did not tell anyone. That time I can't cry. I had no tears. I did not have anything. So what happened? I slept. I couldn't sleep. I can't even remember the emotions that were going that time. I don't know whether I was angry or what. I don't know what I was. It is just a very weird state to be. You are not angry. You are confused. You don't know what to do. You don't know who to talk to. You don't know anything. I think when I woke up again now, I told my brother, one of my brothers who we are very, very tight. And I told him, I'm telling you on condition that you do not tell a soul. Keep it to yourself until we are sure. So I still went to the office the following day. And I think I talked to one of my colleagues. I told her I have a gynecologic issue and I don't know which doctor to see. So again, she referred me to another doctor. This one did not even take time. He was just mean with information. He made me so uncomfortable. I left in the middle of that conversation. Then I looked, like, finally the doctor who saw me was the fifth one. And this time now I had told my brother he needed to accompany me. By that time you feel your head is like this. You try to laugh and you wonder, why am I even laughing? You try to eat, nothing tastes. Like, literally life stops. Life just stopped. I stopped living. I was just a zombie. Finally, I got my doctor, Yamal Patel. I booked an appointment. He was not easily available, but I went with my brother. And I found a very human doctor. He took, I think, 30 minutes explaining to my brother and I what I was ailing. Because remember, at that point, no one has really explained to me exactly what the ailment, where did it come. It's only that what I had read from the Google. He was kind. He gave me the information. He made me to stop feeling so guilty. He explained about HPV. I did not have an idea what HPV is, how the strains. He explained how they come about. He explained so many things. And he told me, to date, those words still, when I feel like giving up in life, I remember his words. He told me, Caroline, you are too young and I'm not going to lose you. I'm not going to lose you. And before I do whatever treatment that we will choose, even if I'll have to remove that uterus, it will be the last option. So before I do that, we need to do colposcopy, we need to do biopsy, we need to do several tests for me to confirm that that is what it is. But it will only happen if you allow me to. And I found peace. I finally found someone who would speak a language I understood. So I went for that colposcopy. I've been told it's a simple test. So I had told my brother, you don't have to take me. I'm good. I'm strong. I'll go. But I think him deep inside, he knew he knew I would call him. So when I got there, we did colposcopy, and then it was this experience of you're there, you're lying down. For a woman who've ever been in that setup, when you're lying down, your legs are all apart. The doctor walks in, the nurse, then they're talking. They walk in with like a microscope. Then they're talking. No, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. They're speaking some language. Then, I don't know what they saw. They rushed out. Then they came back with like 6 of them. Then they're discussing. It's like you are a specimen. It's so disgusting and it's so painful. It is so confusing. Then my doctor came to me and he was very kind again. He held my hand. He told me, my dear Caroline, from what we've seen, we have to conduct a minor surgery now. And unfortunately, we had already done, he explained things that I never understood. We had already done something So if we administer anesthesia, it will not work. So you will have to persevere, and it will not be so, it will be painful, but it will not be, he said it will be a prick. Guy, hey. Way, my friend. They removed 6 pieces of my cervix and my uterus as I was feeling. Not removing, cutting and putting into small bottles. Now, what they were doing is biopsy, because they had seen it has grown, and it has grown in the wrong direction, and it needs to be worked on. This is the 3rd month from the day I was diagnosed. And it was not the 3rd month, it was December, from the day I did my first pap smear, it was December to January, January to February, so it was 2 months. And what they have seen, they say it's bad. So they removed the parts, and of course now I have wounds, they have to clean those wounds. Hey, my friend. I remember I drank 2 liters of water to try and get the pain out, thinking that it will pass through that part. It was so painful. I could not lift myself from that bed. So who do I call? My brother. I called him, I'm crying, I'm like, I can't. Please come and pick me. And it's like he was outside there, and he just came. He was so kind, he didn't even ask any question. He never asked any question. He didn't. Just took me home. And I couldn't walk upstairs. That time I was living in a flat. And again I saw my daughter. And again I said, it's over. I am dying. Yeah, my daughter and my brother, they were giving me reasons to fight as much as they were giving me sad moments. When I look into their eyes, I could see sadness in their eyes. I could see it. Biopsy takes 3 weeks. Okay, it used to take 3 weeks those days. These days I think it's faster. So my doctor could check up on me almost every day. Why, I have no idea. He had so many patients, but he had time for me. Could call me and encourage me and still tell me, Caroline, you're too young. I'm not going to lose you. 3 weeks, one day it was on a Saturday, I think. I was in a supermarket. To date, I still try to figure out what I had gone to buy. I don't know. And then my phone rang. I picked it. It was Dr. Yamal Patel. He said, Caroline, I'm so sorry I'm going to break your heart, and I'm not going to beat around the bush, but it's cancer, and we have to act immediately. It is the aggressive type. Please come to my office on Monday. And he hung up. That is when everything comes down crashing. See the thing that you hear? Tee! Nothing. I don't know what I did. I think I just texted my other brother. I first texted my brother, then my other brother, and I said, they say I have cancer. I have to be treated first. Don't ask me any other question. So I texted my 2 brothers, I think my auntie, and then I couldn't tell my parents because my dad around that time was so sick. He had kidney failure, he was so sick, and I am my father's apple. I am the only girl, I am his mother. My dad, if you want to crush him, crush me first. So I didn't know how to break his heart. I left the supermarket, went to the nearby market, and I bought the 10 bob trousers that could not even fit my daughter, I think worth 2,000. I think I went home with like a gunia of them. And again, I couldn't face my daughter. I just couldn't, but I think she could sense. So I told my brothers, you know how to tell my parents, because I can't. I can't. I kept quiet, couldn't sleep, that time you've cried, you're done. Around that time now I'm angry at God. Now my anger turned from me, from everyone else, to God. Where is he? What have I done to deserve this? Why me? Previously, I had gone through quite a hell of a time growing up and with several other experiences. Then now this. Why? Why did it come now? Just when I've just cleared campus, I have a good job, I just wanted to get married. Why? I always wanted 7 children. You've taken away the uterus. Why? How? I mean, there's no old woman somewhere who you could give this instead of me. All those questions you are trying to negotiate and debate with God in your life, you are so unfair. You are mean. You are bad. That is what I felt. That is what I thought. So Monday came, and again, my brother and I went to Dr. Yamal Patel. He sat down with us. He took a whole 1 hour explaining all the forms of treatment, everything. By that time, I'm not hearing anything. It's just fear. I was just seated there. So it's my brother who was taking notes and understanding. Then again, he was kind. He told me, I would want to give you maximum 1 month to go and make a decision. If you don't make a decision in a month's time, it was in March, Caroline, you will not see June. So you better decide now. And if you don't decide by 1 month, I will decide for you because I'm not losing you. I will make that decision for you. So the options I was given were chemotherapy. He told me we can either do surgery, we will do surgery, then either chemotherapy or radiotherapy or laser, or we can, depending on the tests that we will do and see if the other major organs are touched, then we will decide the. So then I asked him, what are the success rates? What are the side effects? Honestly, tell me. And he explained everything. I went home, and my brother told me, now you have to decide. Now he involved my mom. So they asked me, what do you want? Nothing. Which treatment will you take? No, nothing. And at some point, I felt my head was like this. I again called my brother, and I told him, if you guys don't take me to a psychiatrist, I'm going to go crazy. That time I felt like I was going crazy. So they told me, I think he told me, you don't need a psychiatrist, you need a psychologist. I was like, I don't care who you will take me to, please. I am going crazy. So again, he asked me, where are you? I don't know where I am. So they sent someone to come and pick me. They took me to a money counseling center. And I met a counselor. I sat. She tried to be kind to me, but I didn't feel it. She tried to reason with me, but I couldn't reason. In the middle of the session, I just told her, the day you will be 27 years old and they want to take your uterus away, please call me and tell me this nonsense you're telling me. And I walked out. I tried, it was so painful at that time when everyone is telling you, oh, you should not be so worried, you have a child. And I'm like, you guys, you have no idea how much I love this baby and I appreciate her. But it's not about her. It's about what I'm just about to face. Oh, no, you are lucky. You're not so. I'm not lucky. I'm sick. They really pushed. What treatment will you take? I'm like, nothing. The one person who won my heart is my mom. She came to me. She came to my house. Of course, she knew what she was doing. She's wise. And she asked me, hey, okay. So, daktari alisema nini? Nikamwambia, mi sijui wanasema, sijui nitolewe uterus. Sijui wanasema nini. Wewe unataka nini? Hakuna. Yeah? Okay. Wewe basi utakufa tu, utuachie mtoto tutalea. Those were her words. And in her wisdom, I made a decision. Because the way she put it, it was, oh, okay, sawa. Wewe utakaa tu basi tugoje ukufe, then tutalea tu mtoto. And that is how I decided to do surgery. So on 23rd of March, no, 22nd of March on a Friday, I again, okay, Yani, my brother, Yani, God bless him. It was my best friend, my auntie, and my brother, and I. So in the morning, it was like morning in my house. Everyone was there, my dad, my mom, everyone is there very early in the morning. My salonist was there to make my hair. Everyone is trying to make me comfortable, but I'm just there. So the surgery was scheduled on 23rd of March. 2013 is when the surgery was scheduled. It was a Saturday. It was scheduled at 10 a.m. So I had to be admitted on 22nd of March. Remember, the whole time I did not have any physical pain except the emotional and the psychological torture. So everyone was there. It was such a sober, a morning, as everyone is. It's like I felt like I was being zitikishwa, like everyone was saying bye. Packed my bags. They tried to feed me. I couldn't eat anything. Came to the hospital. I was admitted and I was so scared. I told my brother, my auntie, and my best friend, please don't leave me until you have to. So they left at around 9 p.m. Then the lady I was admitted in a double room. I don't know what they are called. The lady who was next just came in. She had breast cancer and her breasts had just been removed. So she was moaning the whole night out of pain. And I had to wait for the whole night, no sleeping. You are waiting for your D-Day tomorrow. 10 a.m., they came, checked on me, and then they insisted on pushing me to the theater, and I'm not sick. I was feeling so bad. That time my hands are frozen. My entire body was frozen. I didn't have any specific emotion. Then they told it was again my brother. God, okay, it was all over. My brother, my aunties, and they said the surgery will take 1.5 hours. I was pushed. As I waited, I was so scared and I just wanted to see my doctor. So I told them I'm not going to that theater without seeing my doctor. So he came, held my hand and encouraged me, reminded me why we are doing this. He was just human. And I was pushed. Then, of course, you don't remember anything after that. It felt like I slept for 2 minutes. When I woke up, I was in so much pain. So much pain. My doctor had promised me not to scar me, so I don't have any physical scar. I just have like a prick kidogo. Unless I tell you I have had surgery, you would never know. So he did. He was very kind to my body. He told me again, I don't want to scar you. You're young, so I'll not do that. I'm told the surgery took 4.5 hours instead of 1.5 hours. My family tells me they nearly fail. Every time someone was being rolled out of theater, they thought it was me. At some point, I'm told they even came and said, if she's dead, please tell us. But I'm told when they put some medication, I think it was overdose or something, and I swelled too much. I have a video of what happened, but I've never watched it. I was in so much pain. But I remember when I tried to open my eyes, I checked my pulse rate was so low, my blood pressure was so low, and they were telling me, please don't close your eyes, and they were tensed. So they kept waking me up until then they injected some things. I don't know. Long story short is 2 days later I left the hospital because again, Kara is strong. Kara is very strong. She can handle it. She left the hospital. She begged the doctor to let her go as she was going back to her village. In my village, there are terrible roads. I was not flying. I was using road. By the time I was getting home, I was wishing I was in a hospital because the wound is there. You see, physically, I could not see any wound. So I thought I was fine. The pain I felt for the next 1.5 months, it was unbearable. Because the wound is inside, it has to heal. So for 1.5 months, I could not bathe myself. I could not take myself to the washroom. I'm bleeding. So my auntie is washing me and I am bleeding. They have to lift me up. They have to carry me. And I was like, what have I become? What is this person? Who have I become? At 27, you can't even do anything for yourself. Now the anger turned to, yes, I was angry at God, but now I was angry at the world. Why do I have to be assisted? Why do I have to move from being so strong to being so weak? Then, in between the sessions of looking for doctors, I had called several friends, I think like 3. The first one I called and I told her, I've been told I have cancer. So I'm in the process of looking for, up and down. She said, let me call you back. And she called 6 months later. The other one, it was a he, yeah. I told him, he never said a word, he never said anything, he hung up. And I said, I'm not going to tell anyone else if that is the reaction. But in between, I got 2-3 colleagues who are really, really helpful, who are there for me. But I think God also allowed that to happen so that I can feel the pain of being alone in such a situation. Because he needed to rise me up. He needed me to squeeze that lemon and make some lemonade for someone else. He needed me to fully identify with someone who has no one else who understands them when they are going through that. And that is when, during that pain, I used to write. I still have a journal. And when I read it, I'm like, guy, I was so angry. And I used to write. And one day, one Sunday, my grandfather died like 2 years before. And he was my best friend. He used to call me daddy, which is darling. Ever since I was born, we were best of friends. And I used to find comfort in his hugs. So this one Sunday afternoon, when everyone else is not there, I'm just home. I walked to his grave and I'm there, I'm crying. I'm like, Guka, I wish you were here. Maybe you would help me figure out these things. And something very strong came out. And why am I crying to a dead person? Why don't I rise up and go give people that which I crave from Guka? I just craved a hug, his hug. That's when I prayed and I told God, if you make me well, I will rise up and I will hold every person who will be in distress. I wrote it down, went back. Sometimes we make promises to God, then we forget. So I got well, went back to the office. That same time, my body had healed itself through the foods that my mom had given me. And the doctor had told me, you know what, I don't know what is happening to your body, but you go keep doing what you're doing. But of course, I used to go for reviews. Went back to the office and forgot what I had promised God. But when you forget and God has called you, he has a way of bringing. Every woman I met, a stranger, I used to work as a youth empowerment officer. But this time, women started bringing their health issues to me. Women started telling me about their reproductive health. Strangers, everywhere I go, they were just, if you switch on the TV, it's women reproductive health, women. And I was like, okay, sawa, I hear. I'm going to do this. Okay, fine. So August 2012, I woke up from a programs meeting, went outside, wrote my resignation letter, sent it to Nairobi, came back and told guys, I've just resigned. Where are you going? I have no idea. What are you going to do? I have no idea, but I'm going to help a woman somewhere who I don't know how I'm going to do it. So for 1 month, I had no idea what I was doing. I used to go to Kenyatta, just hug women. I used to go to hospitals, just hug women. I go to a matatu, I tell women to go for screening and just hug them. And that is where Held Sister Foundation was born. Because I needed to be held, I offered to hold someone. And the more I met women who needed help, the more I realized this is what I was supposed to do. So I forgot myself. I forgot I ever needed that help. Rather, I did not forget, I pretended to have forgotten, which is a dangerous thing. I pretended to be fine. I used to joke, oh, hata sijui kama uterus yangu ilikuliwa na mbwa ama sijui nini. I used to joke about it. I served, I gave everyone else the attention, all they needed. I served. In 2014, I did 50 medical camps. I screened more than 5,000 women in Kenya in a span of months. I started getting awards. The first one I got was EcoBank, African Women Inspiring Change. And I was like, oh, okay, this is serious. I give my all. I give my money. I give my everything. But I forgot me. So in 2016, I fell into a bad depression. It started as irritable bowel syndrome. It started with the stomach. Got sick. No one can find the answer until one of the doctors is the one who diagnosed me with irritable bowel syndrome. And he told me this is stress. So 2017, it became worse. I was super depressed. Now it became to chronic depression. I didn't know I was sick until my friend came to my house and told me, you are sick. You need help. I said, no, I don't need help. He dragged me, literally. He dragged me. Booked an appointment, took me to a psychologist, yes. I don't know whether it's a psychologist or, yeah, that one. And he sat there and told me, I'm not leaving until you talk to this doctor. So for 3 months, I had to undergo through therapy. I, again, stubbornly refused to take the medication, and I used food to treat me. And that is when I got to know again the sadness, the pain, the confusion of someone strong or someone thinking they are strong, and then they just come down crumbling. That time I did not have even the energy or the strength to take care of even my daughter whom I loved. I did not. I was crushed. I was done. I just wanted to be in darkness alone. It is a dark hole that I would never want anyone to be. One of the side effects when I was signing consent paper just before theater, one of the side effects of the surgery that I had is that I will have severe hormonal changes. So remember, in 2013, I went through menopause. It is not natural menopause, so it came with severe hormonal changes. It meant that I have to really be careful about my weight. The 1.5 months that I was being taken care of, I added 15 kgs. Instead of, I flipped. Instead of losing as normally people do, I added. Now depression is here, and it has really messed up my hormones again. My weight started changing. I started growing big. So that is when I said I would want to take charge. And I started learning, how do I manage my weight naturally? How do I manage this depression naturally? And I went back to my mom, started asking these questions. How can I do this? And I also started learning about healthy living. I also wanted to, I needed a solution for this, and a natural one, and a long-lasting one. So at some point, I think was in 2017. Yeah, 2017, I had an event in July. I was the host. It was at Kempinski. I dressed smart, but And the photos were really nice, and I posted on Facebook, and someone wrote, Caro, you have 3 stomachs. Decide which one you want to lose. Body shaming. And I was like, oh my God, I literally have 3 stomachs. I need to choose which one to keep and which one to let go. So I started working, and I'm not a gym person, so I needed to find solutions. And whatever happened, whatever I worked on, in 3 months, my body started taking shape. So my friends could notice, and they started asking, and I was like, okay, kumbe. And I helped 2, 3, 4 people, and their life started changing. The whole time I'm still serving as an NGO. I'm not thinking about money. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just helping people. This time now, I have so many women I'm taking care of. Around 2016, just before, now what put me into depression completely is the first lot of women that I lost. I lost 13 women at a go. Some in my own hands. I had not lost someone that close. Some, they left their children under my care, and I couldn't handle that. I had lost so many people. So I was just traumatized. So yeah, everything I did to change my life, I wrote it down. So I helped 2, 3 people, and yeah, it became something. 2018, so 2017 was like that. 2017, around that time I'm working on my weight, I felt a lump on my breast. I did not tell anyone. Of course, when you have had cancer, you wake up every day thinking, what if it comes back? When you have a headache, you think, oh, maybe it's in the head. Oh, maybe it's... So when I felt the lump, the first thing was, oh my God, it is back. I didn't tell anyone. And for a whole 1 year, in between 2017 and now 2018 is when I finally confirmed. So I did some checkup. Yes, the lump was there. Unfortunately, I started getting discharge from the same breast, and I was like, okay, this is serious. Now the most confusing thing was, I'm the one who tell people to go for screening, but I was the most scared. I didn't know what to do. So I looked for one of my friends who is a doctor, and I told her, hey, I need to come for test. But I postponed that test for more than 6 months. I never checked. Finally, I did 3 different tests, and they were saying, yes, you have breast cancer. Yes, you have breast cancer. Yes, you have breast cancer 3 times. But my heart was like, no, I don't have. I cannot even take this anymore. I can't take it. I can't. Again, I planned pole alone. Around that time, my dad again was so sick. So I didn't want to stress anyone. So I did it alone, and it was another lonely journey. Finally, 2018, September, end of September, I flew to India by myself. I need Jesus. I went there alone. It was so lonely again. I found an African community there. They welcomed me. They took care of me. I did several tests. But my heart was convinced I don't have cancer. My heart was so convinced. So we did tests and tests and tests. The first one, I think they had said, I have it. I told them, no, we have to do again. When we did 2 and they said there are no active cancer cells, I boarded the plane that night. I could not stay there anymore. So 2019, I got several scholarships to study social entrepreneurship, because what I'm doing is, yes, it is for the society, but I need to find a way of impacting even my life, because for 5 years I did not earn a single cent from anyone. God just sustained me. A single cent, nothing. So I did social enterprise. At this time, I have men and women who are calling me from all over the world. Some are texting me on Facebook, and they need my help. So when I help them, they get well, they tell their friends. So as we speak, I think I have more than 1,000 men and women who I've been able to interact with from different countries who have benefited from my knowledge and wisdom. That 2017 that I was so depressed, I was top 40 under 40. And the irony is when everyone sees you happy on social media and smiling and looking all glamorous, they have no idea what you're going through at the back of your mind, at home and all these things. That is, 2017 when I was, 2016 when I was now getting into that depression, I got 3 awards. I got Red Chili Spice, I got Timeless Woman of Wonder. You see the titles are really, when you're so down is when some titles come and you're like, Timeless Woman of Wonder, and I'm going through hell behind the scenes. But that has not stopped me. There are days I wake up and I just don't want to wake up. There are days I cry. There are days I rise up. There are days I want to move on. I'm turning 35 this year. It's only 7 years, but I feel like I have lived for 7 years. The 27 years I had not lived. I have lived the 7 years. I have lived my full purpose. I wake up and I know I'm going to bed having done what I could. I stopped stressing. I have lived the 7 years and I'm looking forward to living until God decides otherwise. But the 7 years have taught me so much. It has taught me humility. I've seen people with all the wealth you can think of, but they have no health. I've seen people die. I've seen a body, someone's body going from a normal, healthy person deteriorating and dying when they're just bones. I have seen it. It has taught me to totally depend on God. Totally. When I say trust in the Lord with all your heart, I mean that. Because He has paid my bills, because He has lifted me up, He has given me awards that I never expected. He has made strangers believe in me, and He has also crushed me when I needed to be crushed, to be molded, to be who I am. I have learned that when you give, you lose nothing. But when you give, you gain everything. So I have learned to give and give and give. It always comes back. But I've also learned to take a break. When things are so thick, when nothing else is working, and when you take a break. So I unapologetically take breaks. I take myself for holiday last week, but one I was on a holiday alone because that is what I should do. I have learned to have boundaries. And I have learned I'm not God and I never will be God. So if I have done the best, I let go. I never thought about the things that I would have to face as a secondary infertile woman. I never thought about the depth of the pain that I would feel because it's 7 years and I cannot attend a baby shower. I'm not able to. I have tried. I cannot. It took, I think, 5 years for me to be able to withstand being with a pregnant woman because it took me, every moment of that time took me back to the point of, you'll never be here. You can never make that choice. You cannot do this. I never knew that some very possible suitors would come. And when they hear I don't have a uterus, they run away. I never saw all those consequences. But these are things I've had to learn along the way. That I would be a threat to some people. I would also be an attraction to some people. I've had married men come to me and tell me, you see, you're a very good suitor because you can't be a child. So I'm safe. If I'm with you, I mean, you will not come to be a baby mama here. At the same time, I've seen very good potential young men, amazing. Na unajua hata mimi labda nimemnoki hivi alafu akisikia sina uterus they just disappear and you will never hear from them. And I never knew those things. But I'm glad the year 2020, when we are recording this, I know what it means to be loved because I am loved. There's a very good, caring gentleman who is my friend, who loves me and I love him. And yeah, so yeah. I've written even so many books, but I have never had the courage to publish. So this time, the Holy Spirit of God pushed me, and I think it was time for me to do it. So I have just done my first book. It's The Glass of Life. It will be a series of books because I'm answering the questions that people keep asking. So it is a simplified version of me trying to explain what healthy living is, what naturopathic lifestyle is, how can you help your body. And also it has a sneak preview of my life and my journey. Though I have not focused so much on myself, it is more about health, that we don't even need to use so much money for us to achieve the goal of being healthy, living a healthy lifestyle, and of course in a naturopathic way. You can find my book, Glass of Life, by calling us, texting us, 0711 621563. We are on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram as Held Sister Foundation. Held is HELD, Held Sister Foundation. We are Rejuvenating Nature's Beam, and Carol Nganga. You can email us on info@rnb.co.ke every Friday at 8 p.m. we zoom in on Caro, your health coach's notebook. So every Friday we are sharing a meeting code. It is free, and Caro, your health coach, teaches you about different things about health, and we get to interact with everyone in the globe. So yeah.